that way, just to turn your do not disturb on. And let me see. I know I'm just tapping everything everywhere. Here we go. All right, let's get started. So wherever your mat is, come down to a seat. If you love props, if you have props with you, then you can always grab some blocks or even books, something for use for your hands or to sit on. If you are feeling kind of tight in the hips, you could also grab a pillow. Any kind of a pillow will feel nice to sit on. And let your legs be cross-legged. Let your hips be relaxed. Just come down to that comfortable seat. Your hands can rest however feel natural. And we'll just begin to breathe together. So the eyes could close if you want to release a little bit of that outer distraction. If the eyes are open, maybe look gently down the nose. This will help you give something to focus at. And as we start to breathe in and out, you'll feel your exhales get a little bit longer. So we'll take an inhale through our noses. And as you breathe out, it might even be this audible ha sound. We'll do this twice more. In. Ha. Take a big full belly breath in. Exhale, let it be exaggerated. That sigh, that ha. Let your lips softly close. Breathe in and out through your nose. If the eyes are closed, you can gently flicker them open. And just start to move your torso around. Your chest will start to rotate over your left hip or left knee, around over to the right, and then keep making some circles here. They can get a little more exaggerated as we move. The elbows will probably bend. As you feel the spine start to awaken, the circular motions happening, then you might start to get a more exaggerated in the neck, the head and neck, just rolling around. I know most of us are stuck inside. The hips and the spine really love these movements when we're not getting to move how we usually do. As you breathe out, when you start to circulate around, your torso will come over the ankles. Take a pause. And now circulate in the opposite direction. Your eyes can fully close here. Again, head and neck just kind of lolling off to the side, feeling the release. Check out the jaw. Let the tongue go from the roof of the mouth. Take one more big circle wherever you are, and when the torso comes over the ankles, take a pause. Let's lift our chest just a little. Walk the hands forward or slide them. And then as you exhale, start to relax your neck. Some of you, your forehead might touch the ground, and that works if it feels good, if you're really low and very flexible. If you're not in that space and the forehead doesn't touch anything, don't worry about it. Just shake your head a little from side to side. See if you can hear your own breath sounds as we start to slow down our minds. 2 more cycles of breathing. You can bump up onto your fingertips for a little more of a stretch underneath your armpits here. And inhale, lift your chest, lift your head, start to crawl the hands back towards the body. Breathe out here, and as you breathe in, reach your arms out and up. Big circle up. The palms will lightly press. Let your right hand lower down. Reach your left arm up and overhead. You're just opening the left side body. Take an inhale to lift back up to center. Maybe lightly press with the fingertips. Exhale, you're moving to the other side. Turn your head up and then down. Inhale, lift back through center. We're dropping right hand down on the breath out. Some of us will bend the bottom elbow. Take a breath in to reach up. Take a breath out to change sides. You can move your head this entire time as you choose. Take an inhale. Last time we'll do right hand down and let the arm or the right elbow bend as deep as you choose. Breathe in to reach up. You'll feel the lifting of your rib cage. Breathe out to lower and bend your bottom elbow, left elbow, if it feels good. Take an inhale, lift up. This is that last big lift. Take an exhale, hands will come down. You'll start to roll over your knees and come to long ways on your mat. So if you had a pillow, just move it out of the way. You'll start to face forward, whatever your front of your mat is. Bring your wrists right under your hands. Your shoulders are stacking, knees right underneath the hips here. Start to move around as you breathe. So you'll take an exhale, you'll round your spine, you'll tuck your chin a little bit. And as you breathe in, the belly will lower down, the collarbones broaden. So we'll keep moving here, and I'll talk to you a little, but keep moving freely and know that most of the shapes that we make, I'll try to guide you with my words so you don't constantly have to be looking or turning your head. So feel free to let the head and neck soften as you choose. And feel free to take your own cycles of movement as you choose. Some free stuff will start to come in. Go ahead and do it. Go for it. Let's take an exhale. Bring one hip over to one heel. Roll around and then take a little semicircle the other way. That kind of barrel rolling of the hips, feeling good to the low back usually. We're releasing any stuckness in the joints, any dryness that tends to happen just over time. One more circle in the other direction, wherever you are. Take an inhale, lift back into that tabletop. We're on hands and knees. Take an exhale, scoot or slide your hands about 6 inches forward. You'll curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Bend the knees a lot when you get here. You're in this kind of a bear pose. You could even look forward towards your own thumbs. Take an inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes. You're straightening your legs. And as you breathe out, you're bending the knees a lot, hovering just maybe an inch above the mat. Gaze between your thumbs. Inhale to lift up high onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees. You gaze forward just a little. Inhale, lift. We're straightening the gazes back. Exhale, gazing forward, bending the knees. We're turning the belly on. Take an inhale, lift up one more time. If you're with me, the legs are already shaking. Take an exhale, bend the knees one more time. Just hover, hover. Inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, tippy toe the feet to the middle of the mat. Slide the hands back towards the feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Your hands can rest on the shins. Exhale, shimmy the feet a little wider, probably mat distance. Start to fold, bend your knees a lot. Let your head soften and relax. And begin to sway from side to side. This first big forward folding should feel nice. If it doesn't feel nice, bend the knees a little more. That sway, that fluid movement is like what's happening probably right now. If you're in California anyways, it's raining, it's springtime, it's fluid. If it's not raining for you now, it will probably start at some point. So let your feeling of water happen as you sway. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. Bring your hands right onto the shins. Exhale here as you shimmy your feet under your hips. Next, big breath out. You're folding, you're releasing your head and neck. Knees could stay bent a little, no problem. Take an inhale this time. Reach your arms out and up as you come all the way up to standing. Big circular motion with the arms. Exhale to bring your hands down through the center line of your body. Pause with your hands at your heart. Let the eyes be closed here as you face forward of your mat. If you're setting an intention, whether it's even just to de-stress or to release, have a little calm, whatever it is, now is that time. Next breath out, flicker your eyes open, release your hands down to the mat. Or down by your sides, roll your shoulders back and down. 1, 2, even 3 times, big circular motions with the shoulders. Inhale now, sweeping the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. You can bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale to lift halfway, feel the belly lift a little. Exhale, big fold, hands down the backs of the legs. Take an inhale, start to lift half. Exhale, as you bend your knees, your hands will scoot forward. Step one foot back and then the other. You're in high plank pose. You might choose knees down, so even if knees are down, this is no problem. The belly's still lifted. If you have stuff going on, maybe you're additionally growing a human in there, you can also take child's pose. So feel free to be in the power of plank or anywhere in between. Take an exhale breath, hips will go up and back. This is our first downward facing dog, and pedal slowly from side to side. So bending the right knee and then lifting onto the toes and bending the left. We keep moving here. Feel the jaw soften. Always you can go your cycle, your favorite shapes. If you want to do this with knees down, you could be in tabletop and playing with some hip circles. These are just options. Take an exhalation, let the heels start to soften. So you could still bend the knees here, but we're finding a resting shape in our down dog. Inhale, let's bring our big toes together. It's like big toes are kissing. This is just for stability. Take an inhale. Let your right leg sweep straight up and back. Let the toes stay pointed down. And as you exhale, right knee bends and you're stepping your foot all the way between the hands. You're in a runner's lunge. Start to breathe out and straighten in your right leg. Rebend in your right knee, and now just move around a little bit. You don't have to be all the way straight in the front leg. You'll stay high on the ball of the back foot. This is about feeling good. So make sure you're still breathing, right? Maybe even smiling. Your legs are like, thank you. Exhale, find that runner's lunge. Back knee will stay lifted. Take a breath in, look forward and start to sweep the arms up. This will challenge the balance. Reach the arms up. Exhale, shoulders soften. This is a pretty powerful lunge here. This is Anjaneya. Take an exhale as your hands come down to the mat. Plant your hands and slide this right foot back. It will go right into a three-legged dog. So the toes stay pointed down. Exhale, right foot is down beside the left. You can shimmy the feet whenever you need. Big toes are touching. Inhale, it's the left foot, very slowly up and back. It's rising. Exhale, coil the knee in and step your foot all the way between the hands. Again, if you have some extra abundance going on, then slide your foot a little bit wider. This is no problem. Start to straighten in that front leg as you soften your gaze. Rebend your front knee. And now move around however you love. You're just bending and straightening. If you need a little extra space, you're like me, you're on fingertips, or this would be a good place for books if you need a little extra boost for the hands. Exhalation is rebending that front knee. We're light on the fingertips. We're in that lunge. Breathe in to reach the arms up. You'll gaze forward. This will help you. Breathe out to soften in the shoulders. You're pressing through the straight leg, the right heel, pressing through that leg like crazy. I know, I'm doing it with you. Exhale, hands will come down. You'll plant the hands and slide that left foot back. It goes up and back. Exhale, left foot comes down. Take an inhale to gaze forward. You'll bend the knees. And as you exhale, let's just step first cycle. Step your right foot forward, step your left foot forward. Lift halfway on an in-breath. You'll feel the belly lift. Exhale, fold here. Let your head relax. Inhale, we're coming all the way up. Reach the arms out and up. Big circle. You can even gaze up. Exhale as you bring the hands right through the vision center. Right down to the heart center. Pause as you feel the heartbeat. Pause as you feel your breath. We can probably hear it now, right? Exhale, hands gently come down by your side. You can flicker the eyes open if they're closed. Inhale, big circle, out and up, just releasing any tightness in the shoulders. Exhale, always you can bend the knees, start to fold down, all the way down we go. Take an inhale to lift halfway. We're lengthening our spines. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. You'll step one foot back. You'll step the other foot back to meet it. High plank pose. So knees lowering down or not. Take another big full breath. Think legs here. The thighs really have to be engaged. Exhale, downward facing dog. Suddenly this becomes a little easier. See if you can gaze to your own thighs. This will help keep the wrinkles out of the back of the neck. Bring your big toes together just for stability when we're doing that leg lifting. Inhale, it's right leg rises up and back really slow. Exhale, foot comes forward in between the hands. One time, we'll straighten in the front knee, relax your head. In breath to rebend the front knee, bump up off of the fingertips. Next inhale is sweeping the arms up. This is that lunge shape. As you breathe out, you'll start to open your arms like a T. This left foot will spin flat. You're in a warrior two with this big bend in the front knee. So we're gazing right over that front right middle finger. We'd like to sit pretty low. I'll go lower in that knee if you will. I know it's not easy. And my teacher says, we're really in the shape when you can think of nothing else. So yeah, the leg's on fire. The breath is on fire. We're in that work of the front right leg. One more big full breath. I promise I'll stay with you. Exhale, hands will lower down to the mat. Turn onto your back toes. Lower your left knee down. You can uncurl the toes if you have the space. Take an inhale, sweep both arms up. This is that low Anjaneya. Exhale, two hands will come down to the mat. As you start to slide your hands under your shoulders, start to straighten in your front right leg. So this is Ardha, that just means half Hanuman. Rebend your front knee, hands will come under the shoulders. Plant your hands, this is just to be kind to the wrist here. Turn your left toes. Let's lift the left knee and tuck the left toe. Right foot will slide up and back. It's three-legged dog. Your body's like, oh yeah, okay, I've been here. Exhale, right foot comes down beside the left. Big toes together. Catch your breath here. Let the breath be long in and out. On the inhale, it's left leg rising up and back really slowly. Exhale, the foot comes all the way forward between the hands. One time, we're straightening in the left knee. Exhale to rebend and lift up off of the fingertips. Inhale, sweep the arms up. This is a powerful pose. Anjaneya, this shape is actually the only shape that I know of named after a woman. So feel that feminine power, right? Exhale, open into your warrior two. It's your right heel spinning flat. Hands come out like a T, gazing right over your left middle finger. This focal point, this gaze helps to drive the breath. I'll sit a little lower if you will. I can't see you if you're cheating, so don't worry. Take an exhale. Both hands will sweep down to the mat. Turn onto those right back toes. Little right knee lowers down. You can uncurl the toes. That'll give you a little more space. Take an inhale. Sweep your arms up. The gaze will follow your arms. Exhale. Hands will lower and you shift into that straighter left leg. Hands under the shoulders will be a little easier. We don't have to fold too deeply, just feel how this feels. This is Hanuman. This is the son of Anjaneya. So as you exhale, you rebend the front knee. This is the mama pose. Take a shift into the Hanuman one more time. I promise we'll do it on the other side, but shift into that straighter leg. And this is her son. So they go together. Exhale, rebend your front knee. Hands will plant down. As you curl your back toes and lift the knee, take an in breath and slide your left foot straight up and back. This is the three-legged dog. Exhale, both feet on the mat, so left foot lowers down. Take an inhale to gaze forward. Bend the knees a lot. We want to step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Your toes will be off to the corner a little bit. Step the right foot outside the right hand. You'll bend the knees a lot. I'm going to face you, but you don't have to move. Bend the knees a lot and find this yogi squatting shape with the elbows in between the thighs here, helping the knees to open a little more. This will help your hips to open a little more. Your eyes could close if that makes you feel wobbly, then just gaze over the edge of your mat. If your hips are really high, I know this isn't easy for you, so keep breathing deeply. Over time, they'll soften, they'll lower. Take a big breath in as you bring your hands down. Lift your hips high and turn your toes forward. You might shimmy a little so your feet are under the hips. Take an exhale as you fold. Just let your hands slide down the backs of your legs. In breath reaches the arms out and up, all the way up to standing. Out breath brings the hands right through the vision center between the brow, right through the heart center and pause. Hear the peace. Hear your breath. Exhale, hands will lower down beside you. Inhale, big circle with the arms out and up. Exhale, you can always bend your knees. We're just taking a nice big fold. Inhale to lift your chest, maybe hands to thighs. Take an exhale as your hands come down to the mat. Step your left foot back, step your right foot back to meet it. This is high plank. Find your downward facing dog on a breath out. Hips are high. You could wiggle the feet a little if you need. Bring your big toes together. Take an inhalation as the right leg really slowly reaches straight up and back. Keep the hip facing down, toes down. Exhale as your knee comes all the way forward. You step that foot through. Exhale as you're straightening in your right leg. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. Inhale to bend the right knee. As we lift up off of the fingertips, take a breath in and rise up. Anjaneya, this is a warrior shape. This is a feminine power shape. Exhale, sweep the arms open. Your back heel will spin flat. You're finding the warrior two. So big bend in the front knee. Gaze right over that middle finger as you sit a little lower. Exhale, both hands will come down onto the mat. You turn onto the left toes. Lower your left knee down. You can uncurl the toes. Take an inhale. Anjaneya. This is that low crescent. This is the mama shape. Exhale as you sweep your hands down to the mat. You're straightening in your front right leg. This is Hanuman. This is the baby shape. Take an inhale. Lift your chest. Take an exhale. Start to fold a little. Inhale. Lift your chest. We're getting fluid, right? Just move how you want. Exhale. Fold. Inhale, last big lift. Exhale, big fold. Inhale, lift your chest. Rebend your front knee. You'll feel this like a little mini vacation. Hands will plant down. As you curl the back toes and lift your back knee, your right foot flies up and back. This is your three-legged dog. Pause here. We'll add on. Bend your right knee. This will start to open your right hip. See if you can keep some weight in the right shoulder. Take an exhale. Coil the knee into the nose. You'll come up onto the left toes And then make a big circle with the leg. One more time, you'll go in, out, and around with the leg. Inhale, let's reach the right leg long. We're still on the right leg. Exhale, send the right foot all the way forward. This time, shimmy your right foot to the outside of your mat. Your shoulder will come to the inside. Either stay high on the left leg, you can feel it. If you're here, it's pretty powerful. Or lower the left knee. There's that ha. If you lower the knee, you would like to uncurl the toes. This will just give you a little more space in the hips. You're either on fingertips if you're with me. If you have a lot of space, yes, some friends can bring forearms down. Some friends may have blocks or something. You can be kind of in the middle. But the work is really in the hip of the right side. So feel the hip. Take an exhale and maybe drop the head. Let's all let our heads relax for this last breath here. Just shake your head from side to side. Inhale now, lift your chest. Let's bring it, come up onto the fingertips and let's curl under the left toes. You'll lift the knee, gaze forward over the edge of your mat. It's a big breath in as you step this left foot around the hand. Turn your toes out. As you sit down, this is that second time in the Malasana. That's that yogi squatting. For those of you who can get the hips really low, it is actually easier down here. So if you have some fear like this, as the hips start to loosen and lower, there's some stability here. The hip joints are loving this, even if the mind is like, no, thank you. Take an exhale, bring your hands down, lift your hips up, open your eyes if they're closed so you know where you're going. Take a breath in to bring your hands to the shins. Just shimmy the feet under your hips. And as you exhale, nice big fold. Hands can massage your own legs. Take an inhale, circling out and up with the arms as we rise up to standing. Exhale, bring the hands right through the center line of the body. Pause at the heart. Feel your breath. This is that regeneration of spring. What are we planting? What are we growing as we're breathing deeply in this moment? Breathe in, let the hands come down, flicker the eyes open if they're closed. Breathe out and roll the shoulders back. Breathe in to circle the arms out and up, gaze to the thumb. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees if you need. No problem to bend the knees. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale as your hands come down to the mat. Let's step our right foot back. Step your left foot back to meet it. You're in high plank. You are either doing whatever you want here, whether child's pose or whatever choice of knees down, or if you're feeling the fire, you're like, I do want a little more power. Start to take an exhale, bend the elbows just halfway. I'm gonna hover here with you for a moment. I know it's not easy, but we're hovering, bottom of a push-up. Take an inhale now, press into straight arms, straight legs. The thighs are lifted if you're doing that upward dog. Breathe out to find downward facing dog. You'll curl under or over the toes. Friends in child's pose, you can meet us in down dog whenever you're ready, whenever you love. Bring your big toes together here. Take an exhale, soften in the head. Notice where the mind is now. Sigh whatever thought forms away. Inhale, it's left leg up and back, straight up and back. Exhale, left foot comes all the way forward between the hands. We straighten in that left leg, the head softens here. Breathe, bend in the left knee. You come up off of the fingertips. And inhale, rises you up. You're reaching up for the ceiling or beyond the ceiling, right? This is power here of Anjaneya. Exhale as you start to open into your warrior shape. Your back heel spins flat. Gaze is right over the middle finger. Notice the shoulders and soften the shoulders down the back. Take one more big full breath here in that power pose. Exhale as two hands lower down onto the mat. turn onto your back toes. Your knee will lower. You can always uncurl the right toes if you have the space. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. You feel that mama grounding shape. Exhale, hands come down. You'll straighten in your front leg. This is Hanuman. This is baby, the devoted. Soften in your forehead as you fold. Take an inhale to lift your chest. So fold on the breath out. Lift on the breath in. This is just to remind us to keep breathing. It's not easy behind the thigh here. One more big breath. We'll take an inhale to lift. We'll take an exhale to fold. Inhale, chest lift. Rebend that front knee and you feel that ha sensation. Plant your hands down. You'll tuck your right toes under. Lift the knee. It's your left leg that slides up and back, but pause here. Bend your left knee. Notice if a lot of the weight comes out of the shoulder and see if you can pull it back in. I know it's not easy. This is just the hip that we're lifting. Exhale, you coil the knee in towards the nose. You're on the right toes. And then make a big circle with the knee. One more time. It'll get a little more fluid the second time. Big circle with the knee. Exhale, your foot comes all the way forward, but to the outside. So you can shimmy the shoulders where they're to the inside of your foot here. So the foot is on the corner, that left foot close to the edge of your mat. Either you'll keep that back knee lifted if you're like, yeah, I need the fire. Or if you're with me, you'll bring the back knee down, uncurl the toes. You can do whatever you choose with the arms. Some of you have props and will come down to props. Some of you have the space and have no problem to come on down to the forearms. So whatever you love. If you're with me, you might be on fingertips. You're just letting the hip open slowly. There's some shaking in that hip joint. It's stuff re-energizing or reorganizing of the cells. Let's take an exhale as we rebend as we curl those back toes, and then we'll lift the back knee. So right knee is lifted. You'll let the left toes turn to the corner of the mat. It's a big breath in to step your right foot forward, big almost sumo step, right? And then hips lower down. This is that Mahalasana. You're at the front of your mat in that squatting shape. Eyes can be closed if it doesn't make you feel too wobbly. Notice how your neck is feeling. If you'd like to soften your head and reach the hands forward, some of you, this might feel really good. If it doesn't feel good, then back out, but sometimes this feels nice. Inhale, let's bring our hands together at the heart. Exhale, hands down to the mat, lift your hips. Inhale, lift halfway, shimmy your feet under the hips. Hands can always support the legs. Take an exhale, nice big fold, hands all the way down the calf. Inhale, let's reach the arms out and up, big circular motion up. Exhale, pulling all that fresh energy right down through the center line of the body. Pause at the heart. What are we nurturing? What are we growing right now? Feel that heartbeat. As you inhale, flicker the eyes open. Take an exhale, hands will just float down by the sides. You can roll the shoulders back always. Inhale, big circle out and up with the hands. Exhale, big fold. You could bend the knees. Take an in breath to lift halfway. Take an exhale to bring your hands down. Let's step left foot back. Step right foot back to meet it. Pause in your high plank pose. We're going to add one more shape here. So bring your right knee down to the middle of the mat. Turn onto the side of your left foot. You'll feel the entire bottom of your foot on the ground. Take an exhale. Your left hand will start to sweep back, up, and overhead. Take one more big circle with the arm. It goes back, up, and overhead. We can move really slow. I said one more. Now let's do one more. I love threes. Big open circle of the shoulder. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Turn onto your left toes. You'll press through this right foot. Now we're in plank. It's left knee to the middle of the mat. Turn onto the right side of your right foot. When you feel that foot plant, it'll actually feel a little stable. and reach that arm back, up, and over. You have 3 or more if you love. Big circle rotations with your shoulder. Last big circle. Take an exhale as your right hand lowers down to the mat. You'll press through your right foot. You'll press through your left foot. We're in plank pose. If you love vinyasa, you'll chaturanga here. If you're thinking, not today, we'll go right into that downward facing dog. And unless you really need some extra work, let's bring the knees down. Bring the big toes together and find child's pose. Again, for friends that have a pillow, if you want to grab your pillow, you can even rest for a moment your head here. But just notice how the neck and jaw, how the forehead and facial muscles, how all of those things feel when it's that fertile darkness of child's pose. 2 breaths here. Inhale to gaze forward towards your hands. Exhale, let's lift your hips. You'll start to find down dog. So curl the toes under, hips go high up and back. Gaze to your own thigh. Let's bring big toes together. This is our last evolution. So you go through your flowing, however that you love. If you're with me, we'll lift this right leg up and back pretty slow. Exhale, foot comes forward and through the hands. Inhale to straighten your front leg. If you're with me, you're on fingertips. Forehead relaxes. If it never touches the front knee, no big deal. Inhale, rebend your knee. Take an exhale. You're bumping up off the fingertips. Inhale, sweep the arms up. This is challenging to meet Anjaneya in this way. Feel that warrior, that goddess type shape, and exhale, open into warrior 2. You're spinning your back heel flat. The feet can shimmy a little if you need. Let yourself feel stable. Gaze right over that front middle finger. You will either stay here if you want your next evolution. This will be the last one. So bring your left hand down to your left hip. You'll gaze forward over the edge of your mat. Eventually, your right hand will come down to the mat where your shoulder will be as your left leg lifts. So you're in a half moon, reaching this top arm up. Or if you're like, whoa, Kelly, no thank you, then you're in warrior 2. Those of us in half moon, we have another full breath here. Gaze up to really challenge your balance. Gaze down to make it just a little easier. Exhale, it's that warrior 2. Very slowly set your foot down. Arms will open like a T. We're in that big deep shape. I know your front leg is like, what the heck? Take an exhale as 2 hands come down to the mat. You turn onto your back toes here. Lower your left knee down. You're uncurling. Inhale, reach the arms up. If you want to go chest or heart forward, open the arms like a cactus, this shape. Really shining the heart. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hands will come down. You're finding that devotion of Hanuman. Relax your head. If you have some variation of full split, yes, you can always let that foot go really forward and back. If you're with me, I'll stay in half. Take an inhale to lift your chest. Rebend your front right knee. You find that nice ha shape. Exhale, your hands come down. You're curling the back toes under. Your right leg, as your knee lifts, your right leg sweeps up and back. Bend your knee and open your hip. You can take a hip circle if you love. If you love wild thing, then you can start to rotate onto the left foot. Right foot will come behind you. If you're in this shape, the hips lift. It is the left leg that is straight and the right knee that is bent. Exhale, your hand will come down. Right leg goes up and back. So we're still on the right side. Right foot goes forward and steps to the outside of the hands. We did this last time, so you can stay here or we'll add on a little. We'll all bring the left knee down. Uncurl your left toes. Turn the right toes to the corner of the mat and now roll onto the side of the foot. So you can come onto the hand of your left side and just relax in your head. You'll gaze up if that's okay, or you'll gaze down to the hand on the left side. Exhale. Release your right hand down. Come back onto the toes. You'll curl the toes under on the left side. Stepping forward. It's that big sumo step. And lowering the hips down. That's your mala. That's your malasana. Close the eyes. Don't get too cozy. We'll just be here for a breath. Flicker the eyes open. Hands down. Hips high. Inhale to lift halfway. You can shimmy the toes under the hips. Exhale to fold, soften the neck. Inhale, circle the arms out and up as we come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands right through the central line of the body. Pause. How am I showing up for my last side? And I greet the beginning, the middle, and the ending in the same way. No wrong answers here. Exhale, hands come down, float your eyes open, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale as you fold, big fold, bend in the knees is no problem. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. You'll step one foot back and then the other. Of course, there's options for vinyasa here. If you're with me, you're just finding downward dog, hips are high. Bring your big toes together. Breathe for 2 more breaths, feeling your neck soften. Inhale, left leg goes up and back, straight up and back. Exhale, step all the way between the hands. Start to straighten your left leg. Just relax the neck. Rebend your left knee. The in-breath reaches the arms up. This is that crescent, that Anjaneya, feminine power, right? Exhale, find the warrior two. You can always shimmy your front foot a little bit. You'll feel when you have that bone stacking. It will never be easy, but you'll find where it can be easier. It can be sustainable. Right, take an exhale, sweep the hands down to the mat. You turn onto your right toes. Right knee lowers, you can uncurl the toes. Reach the arms up, you're in this low lunge. If you want that heart shining, open the elbows. This is that nice cactus shape. Inhale to reach up, this is that lifting. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. This is your devotion to self. This is Hanuman. This is devotion to future. I'm doing this for my body to feel good, right? Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, rebend your front knee. You get the mini vacation. Hands come down to the mat as you curl your back toes under and lift your knee. Your left foot slides up and back. Bend your knee here. If you are taking the hip circle, the knee goes forward, out, and around. And if you loved it, you'll come onto the right toes. You'll start to bring the left foot behind you and find wild thing. If you don't usually do this, you might try it. It sounds like a lot of effort, but it feels usually really good when you get here. Take an exhale to bring your left hand down. Bring your left foot straight up and back. We're three-legged. Exhale, bring your left foot to the outside of the hand. So you'd like the shoulders to the inside. You'd like to lower your right knee down. You feel the ha-ha as you uncurl the toes. Turn your left toes to the corner of the mat. Come onto the right hand. This is just to be nice to the wrist. And now roll the hip open a little bit more on the left side. The hand can rest on the thigh. You're softening in the gaze, softening the eyes, the facial muscles. This is not easy to be in the stillness, but can you find some ease somewhere? Maybe just ease in your face. When we soften that furrow, that thing right between the brows, it tells your frontal brain, oh, I can relax. I'm okay here. Take an exhale as your hands come down to the mat. You plant this left toe or left foot. Uncurl or curl the right toes, lifting the knee. Gaze forward, right over the edge of the mat. Lift your leg and step, big sumo step. This is your last malasana, that mala, that deep squatting. So you're gazing right over the edge of your mat. Take one more big full breath. Most of us can probably, I'll tell you first, so we'll stay here for a second. Most of us can probably come down to the seats without having to use the hands. So if your seat is really high, yes, you can take the hands behind you to help you. But if your seat is really low, just don't worry about the hands. Lower your seat down. Start to scoop the legs forward and lift them up. So we have a bend in the knees. The two peace fingers are right behind the thighs. This is Navasana. This is boat pose. So if this is going really well, then you can do a little bit more. You can reach your arms forward. If you're thinking, no thank you on Navasana, then you get to rest for at least 2 minutes while we're playing around. So you're pressing through the feet if you're playing. If you want more, press through this left leg. So straighten the left leg and then bend the knee, bring it back in. And again, hands can come wherever if this helps, or they're reaching. Now we're playing with this other leg. We're straightening and rebending. Inhale, reach forward if you're doing this. If you're not, don't worry about it. Take an exhale now, press through both legs. Reach your arms forward. If you're like me, the belly is shaking off. This is fire, right? Exhale, release the feet down. You can take just a hug around your knees so you can soften your head. Relax the head and jaw, shake from side to side in the neck. Take an inhale, start to lift the chest. Take an exhale, bring the knees together. One more Navasana, it'll be very short. So breathe in, let's lift the legs. Don't even think about it, lift the legs. Peace fingers behind the knees. You're pressing through the feet. You're really pulling the belly in tightly. You're reaching forward if you want it. You're straightening the legs if you want it. And then exhale, release and let it go. Just that 2 breaths of ha. Inhale, lift your head. Take an exhale, bring your hands behind you, and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Oh yes, we've made it, we've made it. Well deserved resting. Let some creaks and pops kind of get out of the hips. You can also do a little toe tapping if you want to straighten the legs and just tap the big toes together. This will also bring some blood flow down around to the bottom extremities, to your roots down here. Whenever you feel pretty released, the low body is feeling open. And take an inhale. Let's lift our chest and straighten your legs. We'll take one nice big forward fold. So the legs will be together, probably pretty zipped up. And if you have some extra abundance, you can kind of move that squishy stuff out of the way so you feel pretty solid on your mat. As we inhale, let's lift our chest. There's even this rolling back of the shoulders. Take an exhale here. Feel it soften. Take a breath in. Reach the arms out and up. You're kind of pressing through the feet, so the legs are on. Next breath out. Start to fold forward. Just go halfway. Take an inhale to lift a little. It's kind of exaggerated. And then exhale, fold all the way. And you choose if you want to grab your shins. If you have a lot of space, you can reach your ankles or your feet. That's fine with me. But wherever you can grab that will help you pull your upper body a little bit in a way that feels good. So 3 breaths, starting to relax the forehead more and more. If you feel really rounded, then gaze to the big toes. This will help keep your spine from being too curved. Take an inhale, lift up just a little. Keep the grip of your legs. Take an exhale, last big fold. It doesn't have to look deeper, just let it feel deep. Amazing. Take an inhale, reach all the way out and up. Big circle motion up with the arms. Exhale, hands come back behind your body. You'll turn your fingertips towards your glutes. If you have really tight shoulders, you can skip this, but it typically will feel nice to the shoulders, so you decide. So fingertips will turn towards you. You'll bend the knees, bringing the feet onto the mat. And we're just going for a little reverse tabletop. So as you take an inhale, you'll lift the hips up and gaze to the ceiling. I can feel it immediately in my shoulders and my collarbones, even in my legs here. So as soon as you start feeling like, whew, I'm not breathing deeply, of course you can come on down. But if you're playing a little bit, take an inhale and lift the hips a little higher. Keep looking upwards. This is for your neck. And exhale, release your hips down. Whew. Release the hands behind your thighs here. And let's roll on down to our backs. You deserve it. We did a lot of work this morning, so hug the knees in. Again, extra abundance going on. Start to move the knees around the belly. You want to make space for the organs and just rest the hands on the shins. From here, start to rock a little from side to side. This is where I'll send you on your own cycle of things that you really love. Of course, I'll give you options, but just know you can really do whatever you want to do. So if you're rolling around a little bit with me, then you'll bring your feet onto the mat. We'll keep a bend in the knees. We'll bring the hands down. See if you can kind of kiss the heel with the middle finger. This is just letting you know your feet are in the right spot. And take an inhale, lift your hips up. You're coming into this bridge pose. Exhale, lower your hips down. Take an inhale, lift your hips up. You kind of see where we're going. And exhale, lower your hips down. We'll do this one more time. Take an inhale, lift your hips. Take an exhale, lower your hips. Pause here for a moment. If you want to do deeper back bending, if you want to do deeper inversions, if you have headstand and you're like, yeah, it's Wednesday and that's what I do, then go for it. You can start to unwind however you love. Or if you're doing what I'm doing, we're going to take a little more lunar, a little peaceful route into that back bending. So lift your hips one more time. And now snuggle one shoulder and the other shoulder underneath your body as you bind your hands. When you get here, you'll lift the hips even higher. You don't have to worry about squeezing the glutes. They'll naturally turn on for you. And then gaze right to the ceiling. This is to protect your neck here. Again, if you're on your own cycle, you're doing whatever you love for about 3 more breaths. Exhale, release the hips, release the hands. Inhale, hug the knees into the chest. Exhale, lift your legs right into the air. Lift your hands into the air and give a wiggle. Just give a shake. This is a great place for any other inversion that you love, shoulder standers, all that stuff. If you're with me and you're saying that kind of simple avenue, simple pathway, then start to release that jiggle, that shake, and just bring the hands onto the mat. You'll let the palms plant. You'll start to straighten the legs, really press through the toes, and then through the heels. Just move the ankles around. Feel the lower extremities, feel your feet. And then bend your knees a little. You might give one more shake. Bend your knees a little and see if you can find the space where it doesn't really feel like you're working. The legs are in the air. The knees are slightly bent. There's this bone stacking sensation. You could close your eyes here. You could turn your palms face upward here and feel how immediately it helps you breathe a little bit deeper. This inversion is an immune system booster for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you have stuff going on in the shoulders or in the neck or whatever. This just legs up the wall, right? You don't even need a wall, just legs in the air. Really boosts our immunity. This brings all this blood, this fresh oxygenated blood that we played around with, down to the filter organs. Your organs are like, thank you. Find that little piece, that little seed of something to feel happy for. My body feels better than it did, or whatever feels good. And then exhale, hug your knees into the chest. You'll open your left arm out to the left. right out of the socket, almost like a T. You'll drop the knees over to the right. You can shimmy the hips under the body a little bit more if you want a little deeper stretch. You can use that top right hand just to rest on your top knee. Gaze opposite the legs if you want more. We're taking a reclined twist, a supine twist, feeling all the little spaces between vertebrae. Can you hear your breath now? Can you soften in the shoulder? Inhale, hug your knees in. Use your belly just enough to roll you back onto your back. You can rock and roll a little. If you've got a little displaced, you can move yourself around. And then you're dropping over to the other side. So it'll be right arm right out of the shoulders. It'll be knees off over to the left. And again, you can shimmy the hips. This will make your stretch a little deeper. And just use that top arm to rest on the top knee. You don't really have to pull. Gravity's doing it for you. You can gaze to the ceiling or you can gaze opposite your knee. The gaze opposite your knee is going to intensify this just a little more. Take an exhale and see if you can soften in that right shoulder. Inhale, use your belly muscles just enough to hug the knees back into the chest. And take an exhale to rock and roll around however you love. Some people, it feels really good to grab the outer edges of the feet or the outer edges of the ankle and find this happy baby. You just kind of roll around here. If you ever watch actual babies do this, there's no way, there's no rhyme or reason. It just feels good to roll around. So if you are invoking that blissful baby, that happiest of baby, then don't worry about, am I doing it right? Just feels good. You can reach for the feet a little bit more. You could open the heels away from each other a little bit more. This is that last bit of rolling around, rocking around. Happiest of babies, just feeling like everything is a game, even your own feet, even your own body. Oh, take an exhale to hug it in one more time. Legs could be together or not, but you'll squeeze, even lift your head and lift your neck if this works for you. Really hugging, hugging, hugging. And exhale, let the legs come down long. Let the arms come out wide, palms are up. Tuck your chin just a little bit. This is Shavasana. Let your seed come back into your mind, your gratitude piece. Your why I chose to move today. For love, for sanity, right? Or for stability. And don't worry about the time. I'm holding the time for you. We deserve that at least 10 breaths for it to be fully quiet. 10 of your breaths. Start to gently move around. If you have a lot of time, then you can start to maybe come out of the call so that you can come to your meditation or whatever you love. But if you have only really this hour, then you'll reach the arms up overhead, you'll reach the feet down really long, and then just roll over. Let's roll over probably onto your right side unless you've shifted to, you'll just roll over so that you can see what you're doing, whatever side that is. One breath in the fetal shape. And take an inhale to start to press yourself back to a comfortable seat. Again, take as much time as you need. If you're sitting on a pillow or some prop, you can come to seated in that way. I'll tell you this now, that way you don't feel like you're waiting. So I've always loved to say hi. If you want to say hi after, then you can stay on. I'll turn everybody's phone, the mute off so that you can say hi. If you're like, no, I really need to go or I have things to do, you can jump off whenever. So don't feel weird. Don't feel like you have to wait. But come into your seat. We'll close together. You'll rub your hands together. Just rub together so you can start to feel some friction. You have some minis with you, some littles. Tell them, rub your hands together, a lot. Feel the friction of the hands. You'll let it get warm. And then you'll bring your hands right over your face. You don't have to touch your face, but you'll cover your face just with that darkness. And this is giving your immune system a boost. Take an exhale, bring your hands right through the heart center. We'll take one more big breath in and out together. Big inhale. Big sigh. I am so grateful to yoga with you. I am really happy to meet you on